The Wayne County Committee on Ways and Means meeting will now come to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Scott? Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Here.
Commissioner Marecki?
Here.
Commissioner Clementi has requested an excuse. Commissioner Anderson?
Here.
Vice Chair Baydoun?
Here.
Chair Kinlock?
Present.
We have a quorum present, and please let the record reflect that Commissioner Peterson, Mayberry, and Commissioner Wilson are also present.
Thank you. Next item.
Chair's remarks.
Just would like to remind everyone that the budget hearings will begin next week, September 4th. We have a very aggressive calendar. We will have, because of the time frame, we'll have two off-site hearings. On September 12th, it'll be in Dearborn, and the 16th, it will be held in Livonia. So keep a lookout for additional communications to go out as relates to the schedule. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item C, approval of the minutes from the August 12th, 2025 meeting.
A motion is in order.
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Baydoun, supported by Commissioner Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item stands approved. We're going to use our tablets. Okay, mine isn't. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
D, unfinished business. There is one item listed requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35094, certifying revenue in the capital projects fund.
Okay, who's here to speak to this item? Without objection? Okay, yep.
There we go.
Okay, yes.
Again, through the chair, requesting that this item be removed from the agenda.
Okay, without, can you state your name and title, please?
Philip Whitfield, Budget Director.
Okay, thank you. Without objection, it is so, the action is so taken. Next item, Madam Clerk.
We're moving on to item E under new business, item number 1, requesting commissioner approval of the recommended 2-year comprehensive executive budget and appropriations ordinance for fiscal years 2025, 2026, and 2026, 2027, including the operating budget plans for fiscal year 2025, 2026, and the projected budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027.
Okay, as relates to this item, we're going to take all of the items at the end, but this item, this item will be a pass for the day, and this item here, let the record reflect, will be a pass for the day. Yeah. Okay, we'll take that action now. Motion is in order to pass for the day. Item number 1.
So moved.
It's been moved by Baydoun, supported by Commissioner Marecki. All those in favor, we're using the app. Okay, please vote.
1 second, it's frozen here. Everyone, yes, for pass for the day?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yep, it's working now.
Can you guys vote now?
You can vote now.
Is it working?
No, they're all out. Well, at
Okay.
Is
least
it timed out?
ours are.
I'll be around
I
in
don't
1
know.
second. I'll be around in 1 second.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 2 under new business, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35059, certifying revenue in the county health fund.
Who's here to speak to this item?
It's Kamal Keparu. I'm online, Management and Budget Finance Director for the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, this right here is our CP funding. And those that don't know, that's our public health funding. This is our First Amendment. So this is increasing funding for the health fund.
Okay, I'd like to ask any members, do you have any questions of this item? Any questions on this item?
Is someone saying something, Chair?
Oh, no, no one
Okay.
said, no one said anything.
Okay.
We're just getting the technology together.
Oh,
Thank
sorry
you.
about that.
No,
The next three,
thank you.
The next two are mine also, so I'll just stay
Okay.
online.
Okay. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 3, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35-143 certifying revenue in the county health fund.
Okay.
Yes, Kamal Kaparu again. This is another health grant that we're getting for emerging threats. This, yeah, for 74,000.
Okay, any questions? Any questions on this item? Okay, Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you. I'm having a hard time getting the background because this is not working again. But what kind of emerging threats? What does that mean?
For example, like maybe a measles outbreak or respiratory viruses. These are just
Okay.
examples.
All right, more disease states then.
Yes,
Anything.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions on item number 3? Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 4, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35062 reallocating expenditures in the special capital projects fund.
Okay, who's
Well,
here to
no,
speak to
this,
this?
yep, me also. This is my last one for today. This right here, this 145,000 is for the Veterans Mobile Unit, the van. So this pays for that, for the mobile unit van.
Okay, any questions on this item? Any questions on this item? Okay, thank you, Kamal.
Thank you all.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35-146 reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Okay, who's here to speak to this item? Okay, is there anyone here who can answer a question associated with this item?
No one being present, I can speak up for that.
Okay, that's fine, but also I'd like to reiterate that it is a policy or an action that this committee will basically pass for today if no one's here to speak to an item, just so you to know moving forward. Yeah, thank
Gotcha.
you. Okay, you can speak to,
Prosecuting attorney is looking to reallocate funds for temporary salaries and miscellaneous operating and other equipment for travel in the amount of for $64,244.
okay, thank you. Yep. And particularly that matters with budget amendments and those financial transactions. Definitely want to make sure someone's here to answer those questions.
Understood.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
thank you. The temporary salaries, can you just expound on that?
I would have to follow up with the department so I can get that answer for you.
Okay.
Okay, can you have that answer before the full board?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
May we have a vote, please? For item
Okay,
number 2?
absolutely. A motion is in order. It's been moved by Commissioner Baydoun, supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick, I think it was. Okay, okay, so please, you vote using your tablets.
Oh, wait, 1 second, 1 second, 1
Oh.
second. Hold on 1 second. Was it Commissioner Baker McCormick who supported?
Oh, good.
Was it Commissioner Baker McCormick who?
It was in my world. It was. Yeah, thank you.
You may now vote.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, right.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 6, discussion regarding the special tax assessments for residents in Huron, Sumter, and Van Buren Townships.
Will all the parties who are present to speak and address this item, please step forward, come to the table, please, including our own Scott. Yep. No, you can sit, please, up here. Join us. No. Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to absolutely thank you all for joining us, and especially at this short notice. As you know, some commissioners as well as the media have some interest as it relates to how this assessment, how this assessment was placed, but more so, you can probably give us an overall understanding of your operations and how you all interconnect with one another. And so, welcome again.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Elmika Steele, Deputy Director in the Wayne County Department of Public Services, and also the Wayne County Drain Commissioner.
Good afternoon, all. Patrick Cullen, Director of Environmental Services for DPS and Wayne County Deputy Drain Commissioner.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Scott Vandenmergel, Director of Assessment and Equalization.
Afternoon, Dayo Akinyemi, Director for Wayne County Department of Public Services. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Now, although we are environment, we do like paper, so we do have a presentation. And we will pass around copies, and then it will also be on the screen as well. So we'll make sure everyone gets their handouts first.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'll be here all day, looks like.
We're going to move quick.
We will.
Take your time.
Okay, everyone have copies?
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
So the drain that we are here to talk about today is called the North Branch Big Swan Creek Intercounty Drain. By a drain, what we're referring to is we use the term drain, some people think of, their kitchen sink and that drain. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an open channel watercourse that was established under the Michigan Drain Code, which brings it under the jurisdiction of a county drain commissioner or a drainage board. This particular drain is under the jurisdiction of an intercounty drainage board. You see the logos there on the first page, and we're going to get into a little bit in terms of a description, but this is the North Branch Big Swan Intercounty Drain. Next slide, please. So a couple of fun facts about this drain. It was established in the 1860s or prior thereto. Interesting little bit of history. Most of the drains in Wayne County were established in the late 1800s, some dating the Civil War. And if you want to see me later, because I know we got to get Commissioner Wilson out, I'll tell you about
Don't worry about me.
history of drainage in Michigan really goes back to the War of 1812, when the United States paid soldiers who fought against the British with land. And so Michigan is one of the states that the United States Surveyor General surveyed and determined that if you have proper drainage in land, then it increases the value of the property. Not much has changed in those 200 years because the same thing applies. If we have proper drainage of land, it makes land more valuable for our residents. So this particular drain, again, as I mentioned, it is an intercounty drain with 3 counties, Wayne County, Monroe County, and Washtenaw County. And it is a stormwater drain. I believe the WXYZ story mentioned that this was a sanitary drain. That is not correct. It is stormwater. So that means that there is stormwater that runs off within the drainage district of those 3 counties will eventually make its way to that drain, and that drain serves a benefit. And then per the Drain Code of 1956 that I've referenced, there's an intercounty drainage board that governs this particular drain. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is the chair of the intercounty drainage board, along with the drain commissioners or water resources commissioner of each county. Next slide, please. So a few more facts about North Branch Big Swan Creek Intercounty. There you will see in the first box a description of the number of acres that is served by the drain in each county. If we focus in obviously on Wayne County, it is serving 11,700 acres in Wayne County, or a little over 2,900 parcels. And on the box on the right-hand side, you'll see all of the entities that make up a drainage district. A drainage district is its own body corporate under the Michigan Drain Code. And that drainage district comprises landowners within the drainage district, the public corporations. So you see the municipalities that are listed there, railroads as well. The Michigan Department of Transportation is a part of the drainage district on account of benefit received to public highways. And Wayne County is also receives benefit on account of benefit to county roads as well. Okay, next slide. This is a drainage district map. Again, just giving you an overall view so you can see the drainage district. If you look at the solid black line, that's the drainage district boundary. A drainage district is just a fancy way of saying watershed. So if you think about all of the parcels that are inside that black line, that means that all of the land within that black line, stormwater runoff will eventually make its way to that inter-county drain, which is shown by the blue line that you see there. So again, all of those parcels that are within that drainage district are receiving a benefit from that North Branch Big Swan Creek inter-county drain. Next slide. So why are we here? Well, here's why we're here. In 2019, multiple landowners filed a petition for drain improvements. And I included a couple of pictures there to give you an idea of some of the reasons why that petition was filed. Along that drain, you have some debris and log jam obstructions. You have some very severe bank erosion along that particular drain. And those are things that have to be addressed under a petition. So let me explain and break that down a little bit further. Under our Michigan Drain Code, drain maintenance can be performed within a statutory limit. Currently, that limit is $10,200 per mile of drain per year. And that just recently increased this past April. The Michigan legislature enacted a bill last year and it went into effect this April. Prior to that, it was only $5,000 per mile a drain per year. This particular drain is a total of 18 miles. So that means the annual statutory maintenance limit for this drain currently is $183,600, which is not a lot when it comes to maintenance. It pretty much leaves drain commissioners and water resource commissioner in essence being able to maybe respond to citizen requests, but you can't do a whole lot more. I like to use the analogy of a car. It pretty much lets you do the oil changes, so to speak, right? But we all know, like with a car, eventually you have to do some major repairs, and that's where the petition process comes in. The petition allows for you to then initiate a larger scale project, and it also sets into a motion a whole bunch of hearings that have to happen when a petition gets filed. And that will lead us into the next slide. So following the filing of the petition, there are a number of public hearings that must be held to determine whether or not you're going to move forward. And we've summarized them here on this particular slide. And if anyone is interested, I can pass around a few. I made a few copies of the actual notices if anyone wants to see them. Very much like this body, drainage boards also must provide public notice that complies with the Open Meetings Act. The Drain Code actually goes a step further, and in many cases will require that you go above and beyond just simply doing like the 18 hours before notice and posting it in your office. So we had a number of hearings on this matter: hearing of practicability, hearings of necessity, notice of letting, a day of review of apportionments. And then this body, the Wayne County Commission, approved the full faith and credit resolution for the drain bonds that will ultimately be issued. So just to give you some examples of the type and the form of the notice, for our notice for the hearing on the practicability, that's just determining an initial step of whether to proceed. Mailings were sent to all 2,923 landowners and the public corporations within the drainage district. So Wayne County would have sent its 2,900. Monroe would have been responsible for noticing its landowners. Washtenaw would have been responsible for noticing its landowners. In addition to that, we obviously posted on our Wayne County website. We posted in our office. And additionally, the Drain Code requires that you publish it in the newspaper. So it was also published in the Belleville Independent as well. That occurred not only for the practicability hearing, it occurred for both of the necessity hearings, which was a determination of whether or not a project was necessary for public health. And there was also landowner testimony at the necessity hearings where landowners themselves, again, because they got that actual notice, they came out, they shared their observations as to why they believe that the Drainage Board should find that a project be necessary for public health. The day of review of apportionments, same thing, mailing, website, newspaper posting. Our notice of letting and then the meetings before the Wayne County Commission for the full faith and credit resolution, those were noticed in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Again, the website as well as our in-office postings. And then we're going to switch and talk a little bit about our prepayment letter. But I just want to just really emphasize that notices were absolutely sent to landowners. I do feel that the petition process is very inclusive and transparent for landowners. We really do encourage people to come out and share their experiences and to talk and to let us know what they're seeing. And we do, again, we make every effort to make sure that that process is followed and it is in compliance. Next slide, please. So the most recent communication, which is what I think maybe has sparked some interest, is a letter that landowners received in the mail. And again, this is part of the petition process. When landowners came out to the day of review of apportionments that was held back in July, that is literally an all-day meeting. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we had a team that was there. Landowners could come in, they could sit down, they could review their apportionment. And what I mean by apportionment is this. When you are doing assessments for drains, think of a pie. So there are, slices within that particular pie and apportionments for assessments to determine what each individual parcel will pay. That's what I mean by apportionment. So there's an apportionment within the drainage district, meaning how is it apportioned among the counties based on the number of parcels we have. So if you're thinking about North Branch, Big Swan, Wayne County is approximately 80% of that pie. Then you're going to break that down even further when you're talking about the individual parcels. Is it residential? How many acres? Things like that. Those are the kind of factors that make that determination. So during that all-day meeting, it's, come and go as landowners chose to do so. They could come in, they could find out their apportionment, learn more about the project design as well. Some people did come out and were able to get the information, and then some people waited till they received their letter. The letter that was sent to them explains to them an option that they have. The option is that landowners can choose to prepay their assessment, which means that there would be no interest if they prepay. So let me explain this. I'm going to use the average residential up to 1 acre. The average assessment for a residential landowner up to 1 acre is about approximately $1,000. Now, the drainage district will issue bonds for a term of 20 years. If that landowner chooses to do nothing, then on their winter taxes, there would be $50 for the next 20 years. Or they could choose to prepay. So if they say, I don't want to, do it over that length of term with interest, I just want to pay off the $1,000. We were just simply explaining to them what that option was. And we provided them with an FAQ sheet. It was not they're not obligated to prepay, but we want to let people know about that option. And several people have taken advantage of that option just because they simply want to. So the best way to think about this is to think about any other type of bank loan, whether it was a mortgage or a car loan or what have you. You could choose to pay it off over the, let's say, 60 months or whatever the term is. And we often will bond for the longest term possible to keep the payment as low as possible. But it doesn't mean that a landowner could at any time choose to pay it off early. Somebody may choose to move. And just like when you move or you sell your house and your realtor says, okay, we got to get a payoff from your HOA or payoff for taxes. And they, so it's this very same process. And a payoff letter can be requested at any time. So that letter was just simply explaining the option, but I think unfortunately some landowners may have interpreted it as I have to pay this full amount right now, and I don't have that choice to just simply let that be spread over the term for the multi-year assessment. And for the assessment process, if you have some more detailed questions, but again, drain assessments show up on winter taxes. So in a few months, we'll be sending over information to assessment and equalization. And there's a process that, that the correct amount gets applied to individual parcels. It goes to the local assessors who spread it on the local tax rolls. And then in the spring of the year, that's when taxes start to be collected and come in. Okay. Next slide, I think. Okay, yep. Next step. So this is last slide. We've already completed bid letting. So the next step really is, once the funding is secured, is to start construction. We anticipate that construction to start this fall, and it will be done in approximately a year. So fall of next year, that project would be completed. I should also add this note as well. Whenever I have had an opportunity to speak with landowners or anyone else in the DPS team, we have actually found the public to be very, very supportive of this project. They look forward to this project being done. You saw some of the pictures because it is very much needed. I think oftentimes there is a lot of confusion around the Michigan Drain Code, how assessments work. Sometimes landowners think that there's a big pot of money somewhere sitting that will pay for all of these projects. But often when we sit down and we're able to walk through so that people understand the process, we get a much different reaction. And we very much encourage people to do that. The phone number that's there on the screen, this is dedicated for projects, for drain projects. So it's not gonna go and, they're going through other prompts. They call that number and we're returning phone calls within 1 business day so that people get an immediate response and they can get their questions answered as well. So that is the presentation in short, but
Oh, it was
happy to
great.
answer
It was
any
great.
questions.
Thank you. This was a great presentation. For me, you answered a lot of historical information as well as how we got here. But one thing, I'm going to go to question from commissioners, but one thing I wanted to ask, in that public hearing process, specifically the landowner portion, is there any parts of these hearings where you actually have transcripts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we have transcripts for the hearing of practicability and both hearings of necessity. There are actual
Correct.
transcripts.
And generally, when you have yes. Okay, state your name and
I'm
title
sorry,
again.
Patrick Cullen, Director of Environmental Services for DBS and Deputy Drain Commissioner.
Okay, so I'm sure at each of those, you have stated the notice. You gave a report as relates to the notice that was
Correct.
properly sent out.
Correct.
Because from that news article, it just seemed like everyone was just, oh my gosh, I'm surprised by what's happening here.
Yes.
So you do have transcripts that are part of that record, and on that record, you stated the notice was issued.
Correct.
How many people how many people can you indicate may have participated or given some sort of comment at any of these
So again, as I mentioned, 2,920, what did I say, 23 notices were out. So at, at one, so I'll give you an example. The day of review of apportionments, which is the one I think most people typically turn out to because that's when they're going to find out their apportionment. We had 122 to participate. So despite all the effort, newspaper publications, notices being directly mailed, and again, it's not mandatory. I mean, people can exercise their option to show or not. But we also tell them when we send it, and why don't I pass this around so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about with the notices. You will see here in that you'll flip through. These are little. Include an FAQ sheet for them when they get their day of review notice. Some people feel like, hey, that answered my question. I don't need to come out, on that particular day. We also, again, as I mentioned, have a phone number. We keep a phone log as well of every caller, why they called, when they got a return phone call back. So for some people, they simply chose other options other than showing up. They just rather, hey, I read my FAQ, I get it. Or I called and my questions were answered and it saved them a trip from coming out.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilson, then Commissioner Marecki. and then
You want to add
Commissioner
something?
Baker.
Thank you, Chair.
I can add something.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, that was a very eloquent presentation.
Thank you.
Everything was covered. You did a great job. No disrespect, but I feel like I'm ready to buy a car right about now. But about to buy me a Lincoln, I'll come see you. Can say so thank you for the presentation. To that extent, let me just quickly recite a letter that I received from a group of residents because I am the commissioner out in Sumter, Huron and Van Buren Township. And I find it very alarming that I had no earthly idea that all of this was going on. I didn't see it in my email as the commissioner. I had no idea until people started calling from these three districts and lambasting me and my legislative aide about this special assessment. It says special assessment, but it's actually a tax to a large extent. I mean, if you want to play with semantics, I understand that. So let me just say quickly, here's a letter that I received from one of the residents. It says on July 10th, 2025, which I think you listed here somewhere, Director Steele, Deputy Director Steele, I'm sorry. The Wayne County Drain Commission held a day of review of apportionments for the North Big Branch or North Branch Big Swan Creek intercounty drain. A lot of words there. Wow. And then approved the special assessment role for the drain, right? So as a result of special assessment for the North Branch Big Swan Creek intercounty drain will be placed on your winter taxes beginning this year, December 25th, 2025. The total will be spread over 20 years, as you eloquently enunciated, and will include interest. Then you have in bold print, the interest amount is not included in the total assessment amount listed above. So that's why I think I have somewhat of a problem because a lot of old folks are calling, senior citizens are calling, who retired, 85 and 90 years old, who live on a fixed income, and they're calling my office and they're calling my cell phone and they're saying, Mr. Commissioner, I can't afford to pay that right now. I got the letter sent out on the 13th. They may have gotten it on the 20th, which was a few days ago, saying by Friday, which is this coming Friday, 29th, I got to come up with $2,000. I got to come up with $1,000. Got to come up with $3,000. So I said, well, let me find out what's going on. I don't know exactly what's going on. So I wrote a nice little letter to the powers that be, indicating my concern for my residents who I proudly represent. So having said that, if the interest is 5%, or if it's 20%, we don't know yet because you're gonna have to interview banks and determine what the interest rate is gonna be.
Yeah.
So I could be conceivably, can I finish please, Director? Thank you. So I could conceivably be paying $3,000 in interest over 20 years. I could be paying $5,000 interest. So if I'm giving you a couple of $1,000 at the end of 20 years, it could be double that or even triple that, obviously depending upon the interest rate that you're able to secure with these various banking institutions that you're going to take bids from. So I say all that to circle back around and say this. I try to explain to the resident that this is not a millage, right? A millage, you get to vote. You can say yay or nay. Do we approve it? Do we not approve it? Pardon me? I just said that, bro. I said this is not a millage. I know it's an assessment. That's what I was getting to. If you just hang on a second. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that a millage versus an assessment, a lot of people were confused, especially if you get older, you get, 80, 85 years old, you start getting a little, like I'm gonna be getting in a couple of years, I guess, but people get confused about stuff that they get before them. But my main emphasis, and not to belabor the point or delay the point, but my main emphasis is that people feel that they are being rushed into making a payment before the 29th, so they won't be penalized for any type of delinquent monies that come after that. And that's one of the very, very big concerns. And quite frankly, I can understand that concern. So how do we rectify that concern with the residents? Like you said, there were 2,900 residents, landowners in this vicinity, and only 122 people came to the meeting. So that tells me either people are apathetic, they don't give a darn, or it tells me maybe they weren't notified. I mean, if you get people that, they don't read, they get up in age, they don't look at the internet, they don't look at the Zoom calls. So I have a lot of elderly people in my area, so they were really upset. And I just want to make sure that I'm representing them properly here today, because that's my job. Okay. It's also my job to work with you also if there's a disconnect or some type of miscommunication throughout the chain of command where we have to interact with each other, where we have to approve everything that you do. I like to be able to say, if I get the information, I can intelligently make a determination on whether or not I'm going to approve anything that comes before me as a commissioner on this board. So not the proverbial rubber stamp, but an individual who makes determinations based on the facts and based on relationships and based on understanding the things that are happening out here in our communities. So thank you for listening. I appreciate that. And I'm going to jump off this soapbox right about now and give you an opportunity to respond.
Mr. Chair, if I may respond.
course.
Okay, first, thank you very much for your expressing your comments and on behalf of your constituents as well. Because we share similarities in our passion to make sure that our residents understand the process. The drain code is not always easy to understand, and that is why, as you can see from this packet, we take great care and effort to be very detailed in the information that we provide. We also know that we have multi-generational residents. And what I mean by that is we've had situations where we've sent postcards where you scan a QR code. Now, everybody who is younger knows what to do with that with the phone. But then we've also sent it literally where we've sent people to people's homes to talk to them directly, right? Because we know that people sometimes will digest information differently. So first, to address communications and notifications, we work very closely with our commission liaison, as you know. So like, for example, the day of review of apportionments and things like that, we make sure that that is communicated up so that commissioners are aware. And if that did not happen, we'll figure out, but we'll certainly make sure that you are certainly notified going forward. Additionally, as it relates to the residents getting communications, I can absolutely say we have affidavits of mailing. So we work with a mailing company. They provide us with an affidavit, every parcel, every address where a mailing has gone. I feel confident sitting here to say that absolutely mailings went out. Now, what a person chooses to do with it once they get it, obviously, I cannot say for every individual landowner if they just threw it away, if they opened it, and like I said, their questions were answered and they moved on, then that's the case. So when it comes to the residents saying, I can't afford this, I can't afford to pay this. So that is, again, why that letter makes it very clear. They do not have to prepay. They can simply pay over the 20 years. They don't have to prepay because we are sensitive to the fact that people are maybe on fixed incomes or have different other financial circumstances. So we make it abundantly clear they do not have to prepay, but we have to at least let people know that option. Regarding the interest rate, the bidders, the information that goes out to bidders from the financial advisor sets a maximum interest rate of 5%. When we do our assessment calculations, we estimate what the interest rate will be. But do we know the exact interest rate as today? Is very similar to, we don't get a chance to like a mortgage where you can lock in a rate before you close. So once we close on the drain bonds, then the interest rate will be known. But there is a cap on what that interest rate would be, and we estimate that in the notice for the landowners. So once we actually close, we would know the exact interest rate, if it's 4.7 or whatever it may be, but there is a maximum amount that is set. I think just in terms of where I would say maybe some things that may help, if there are residents who have questions, please have them contact us. That's why we have that phone number. And I know maybe sometimes for residents who, well, if I can just explain, for residents who, you mentioned
Contact you
people.
all. Okay.
People who, if you can let me explain why. Sometimes being able to talk to someone and walk them through it can help answer their questions. We don't want anyone, if they got something in the mail and they're not understanding it, we don't want that. If we need to go have a meeting with them, whatever it may be, we want to be able to address their concerns. So that's why I'm saying, I don't want someone to sit and be wondering or not understand what's going on. I absolutely want them to understand this, and that's why I'm encouraging, please have them contact us. Of course, if we welcome your partnership and being able to, share information with them as well. But, if there's anything that maybe a question you're not able to answer, we absolutely want to be able to answer those questions for them.
Okay. Thank you. Looks like I missed an email. Thank you, Ashley. Here you go. Here you go. Take your computer back. Thank you. Looks like I may have missed that email, man. My bad, bro. All right.
Okay, so
Okay.
Commissioner Baydun and then Commissioner Marecki. Oh, no. Okay, Commissioner Marecki, then Commissioner Baydun.
Okay, and most of my questions were answered. Just two things.
Mhm.
How much will this whole project cost?
The project will be not to exceed $11 million.
Okay. And I'm just curious, did anybody from, I don't know where that article, I glanced at it. I don't know if it was the news or the Free Press. Did anybody call you or call Wayne County before they wrote that article?
So I've not seen an article in the Free Press or the news, or you mean the WXYZ story?
Oh, maybe it was that.
Okay, yes.
Where the
yes.
person was saying, oh my gosh, I have to pay $2,000.
Right, yes. So WXYZ did reach out and a statement was provided to them, a very detailed statement explaining exactly what I've explained here. Unfortunately, I will say I was disappointed in the reporting, as I do not believe that all portions of the reporting was accurate, despite them having received a statement to the contrary. So
Kind of lazy journalism.
unfortunately, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate this and Mr. Chair for having this. This was
Yes.
very
Yeah.
informative.
Additionally, we will place this presentation on our website. We still have notices up on our website. So again, there's no mystery here. And again, like I said, dedicated phone number. We want people to reach out to us if they have questions. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Commissioner Baydun, then Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Almika. This was a very powerful presentation. I sympathize with my colleague, Commissioner Wilson, about the concerns of residents. Anytime, especially seniors, when they see special assessments, increase in property taxes, they freak out because they're on fixed income, that's understandable. You mentioned that on the average, I took some notes here, it's about $1,000 if it's a parcel that consists of 1 acre.
Up to 1 acre, yes.
Up to 1
yes.
acre. So, and you said right now it looks like it's going to be about 5% interest. Now, are they using a method of amortizing, like when you do a mortgage loan, as far as the payments, or are they going to pay the interest towards the end? Because
No, it'll decrease as the principal goes down.
Okay, so the interest will
Yes,
go down.
correct.
It's a compounded
Yeah.
interest method. Okay. So if someone has 20-acre
Mhm.
vacant parcel of land in Commissioner Wilson's district, let's say, so we're looking around $20,000 for an acre?
It could be, if they have that many acres, it could be a much larger assessment, correct? It
Okay.
could be a much larger assessment. And those are, it depends on, like I said, if it's industrial, commercial, but if they have a much larger assessment, it would be more than $1,000.
But let's say they
Yep.
have,
Oh,
they,
you want to mention that too, Patrick? Yes.
Just
Mhm.
an addition, if you're a landowner who has a crossing over the drain, it could be for agriculture purposes, it could be your
Correct.
driveway crossing
Mhm.
to access your home. There's an additional apportionment that you pay because there's additional cost to the project to replace a crossing.
and the cost of the project is about 11 million, and 80% of that
Correct.
comes from Wayne County.
Correct. So about 8 million.
8
Not
million.
all of that, though. Not all of that 8 million is to landowners, though. So we should clarify that. So for example, and Director Akinyemi can attest to this, roads is going to be paying about 3 million of that, 2.7 million, I think it is, of that $8 million for road crossings that have to be replaced. So when I was telling you before about apportionments, like MDOT would pay a portion, Wayne County roads, railroads pay a portion. So that 8 million is not spread entirely against the landowners.
Okay, that's a very good point. Very good point. But if someone owns 20 acre of parcel and they have a 5,000 square feet mansion on those 25 acres, are they going to pay more because they have a structure on the land versus no structure on the land?
No, it's based on acreage is one of the factors, but it's not a valuation like you might be thinking for a real estate purpose, like a mansion versus something that did not have that type of structure on it.
I see. And the discussion on this project started back in 2019. it looks
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
and yeah, okay.
There was a COVID gap. You'll notice the time for COVID, there was a gap between when the petition was filed and when some of the hearings took place.
And I want to go back to the map, Almika, where it starts. It starts in Ash Township.
Go down to the,
Point of beginning, yeah.
yep, point of beginning there, yeah. Mhm.
And this,
Look at the bigger
and
one.
it goes through all these townships and ends in Ypsilanti Township, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, in relation to flooding that we've been witnessing in the last several years with the amount of rain, does this project alleviate
Absolutely,
flooding in
absolutely.
like the downriver
Correct.
areas like Dearborn Heights?
No.
Eagles Creek?
No, this map here, this
Okay.
is this drainage district boundary.
Okay,
Okay, so when
so it
you,
doesn't affect us per se here locally?
for the Wayne County communities, it will impact Huron Township, Sumter Township, and Van Buren Township.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
These are, and these are, particularly Huron and Sumter, and I'm sure Commissioner Wilson can attest. We receive a large number of service requests related to stormwater management. So, one of the conversations around the drain, so, and again, this kind of ties into the idea about how people perceive or, the costs and how assessment. We're following what the law allows and is laid out. Is this my idea of how it should go? No, I'd like to get money from the feds and the state. Really, and the Michigan Associated County Drain Commissioners, we have constantly been advocating for amendments to the drain code. I think I've shared that with some of you, that things should be different with how we fund stormwater management. This is a issue that many communities are plagued with. We need more tools in our toolbox, so to speak. And the drain code is not, a perfect document. It's been around for a long time, but it needs some updates. It needs to change, and the way that we fund drains needs to change. But right now we know that for all infrastructure, and it's not just, drains only, all infrastructure, there are gaps there. But I do think in particular, roads, and bridges, Dio, don't be mad at me, gets a lot more attention than I would say drains does. It just does. We got little slogans, fix the you-know-what roads, right? Well, I say fix the you-know-what drains, but.
Almika, one last question.
Yes.
Tying it to a real estate transaction, if you will. So if a property owner is selling
Mhm.
next year
Mhm.
his 20 acres of land and there is a special assessment on the
mhm,
property, does that assessment have to be paid at the closing or could it be transferred to the new owner? Because that could be a detriment in a real estate transaction.
So because it is considered a special assessment, I'm not saying that a party cannot agree otherwise. But in my experience, I have seen that the banks or the realtors request payoffs.
Correct. Yeah.
And then that's what I have seen. I don't know that I can't say that someone could not come up with a purchase agreement where they did not pay off the multi-year assessment. So for example, let's say, I'm just making this up, they're getting ready to go sell and then there's going to be that multi-year assessment. Let's say you're in year 2, that $50 gets paid or whatever that assessment amount is, where they would say, okay, well, you paid it for this year. Now I'm going to pick it up and take on years 3 through 7. The rest of the term. I guess they could probably negotiate that, but I've just personally not seen that. I have seen that they requested payoffs similar to a mortgage or other type of assessment.
But I think there has to be some type of flexibility where a new owner can assume the responsibility moving forward.
Not saying that they can't. I'm sharing you
Because it
with you
could
my
be a large sum of
experience.
money, let's say a huge
Understood.
parcel of land.
Understood.
That
Yeah.
could really,
Yeah.
jeopardize the transaction. I'm just thinking as a
Sure.
real estate broker here.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, oh, wow, that's interesting. So that could kill a number of deals if somebody was looking for retirement and looking to move. Wow, interesting. Okay, Commissioner Baker McCormick and then Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you. Yes, it was a great presentation, and I know you have been really pushing for more reform in the drainage area. You are our representative on the board?
Yes.
Do we have more than one?
No,
Just one
this is
per-
dictated by the drain code. The drain code sets the intercounty drainage board as MDARD, as I mentioned, is on that
Right.
second slide or third
Yes.
slide in. And then the drain commissioner or water resources commissioner of each county.
Okay, and you've been on the board for how long?
Oh, since, it's been a number of years. I know since I've been appointed drain commissioner. So, goodness, this has been a few years. I got to go back and think.
Okay.
What is this, 2025? So, I was interim for a period of time in 16, and then I was approved by the
For a while.
commission. Yes,
Yeah, because
yes.
you know your stuff, right? Okay, so to the actual assessment, are there payment arrangements other than just, okay, if you don't pay it in full, then you'll have this 5% or whatever the interest is? Is it any other way or option for payments, like how we pay taxes? You might
That's
pay
exactly
more-
what it is.
Okay, is it same?
This comes on their winter tax bill, so,
Okay, that's
and
what I
maybe
was gonna
Scott can answer that
clarify.
a little bit more. So on their winter tax, when you think about your winter tax bill,
Yeah.
it'll list like county, city, maybe if there's a millage fee on there, it will list this drain on there.
And you can pay half of it?
And I didn't say they could pay
That's what
half.
I'm
No,
asking,
no.
yeah.
So
Is
let's.
there any other options?
That is the option, which is on their winter taxes.
Bill,
Now, they
okay.
could, now you could choose to prepay. For example, let's say maybe someone doesn't want to prepay the entire amount, but they want to prepay more than that. They could, but if it's on their taxes, they
I get it, I
they
get it.
can't like say, well, I only pay
I get it,
$10.
because it's on their tax
Correct,
roll now,
correct.
and you have
Correct.
no options. I'm just trying to clarify if there were any other options there other than paying that 5% or whatever it's going to be. And so there's no arrangements. Was the meeting on Zoom that you had, and where was the meeting? Was there access to the meeting any other way than attending the meeting?
No, and that's, as
Okay.
you know, the Michigan legislature changed the Open Meetings Act. Now,
Okay.
Zoom is still, you could do it as an option.
Right.
But the drain code is very, obviously specific about us, holding the meetings in person. It really, so like, to kind of give you an idea of like the day of review of apportionments, it's not it's not a, it's set up like where, if you think about, we were at Sumter Community Center. We had stations set up with laptops, like people could come and sit down and talk about their property individually. So it's like stations.
Right.
It's not
formal
it's
meeting.
not like we call it to order and then like there's a 8-hour block of sitting at a table. You're literally moving around. You're talking to people individually. They're getting information about their individual property. So a Zoom format, it wouldn't have
So do you think
been as well suited.
in the future that there should be like a formal meeting so that?
It is a formal meeting. It
Okay.
is. And so that's why I was describing the setup for you.
Right.
So if you can imagine, this is where landowners are coming to talk about their individual property.
Right.
So it wouldn't be, now I'm not, to have a Zoom, someone would just be watching people sit, and talk.
Yeah.
Does
And
that
that's
make
why
sense
I'm asking
individually?
the question whether
Mhm.
there should be a formal meeting. I get how you have it set up.
Mhm.
I'm saying, so in the future, you do have an option to make it Zoom or
So
virtual,
I want to make
right?
sure I'm understanding your question and I'm
It's
answering
not
your
really a
question.
question,
Okay.
it's a statement about what you just said about how your meeting
So
is set up.
this meeting is set up because that is what the drain code requires. Now, other meetings that we had, so for example, some of the necessity hearings, that would have been set up more like a hearing where people come up to the mic, they give public comment for 2 or 3 meetings.
Right.
It had that format. Other meetings would have been similar to like this type of format
Okay.
where you would maybe have the drainage board speaking. So literally, and I mean, I can share this if you
Yeah,
just kind of
I
want
saw
to
it.
see. It kind of lays out what the procedure is for each of those meetings. It's just
Okay.
that day of review of apportionments has a specific format in that
To
way.
use, okay. And I was, again, just wondering if there could be a different way of presenting it so that
Yes.
if a person wanted
mhm.
to zoom in either
Mhm,
to
mhm,
the apportionment or whatever other meetings you guys have, that they have that option. I think technology does that for us, and it would, certainly help some that could not get there. What was the other question? We dealt with the interest because I think Commissioner Baydoun asked that. The other question I had. So you talked about changes that are needed.
Mhm.
Do you guys talk about the changes of the reform of the drain code? And is it any movement in
Sure. So
the legislature for that?
well, there's not much movement right now in the legislature. I mean, with many things. So there are different bills that are pending that are not related to this. So a couple years ago, I think maybe when we were having some of the conversation, at that time, we were trying to amend one of the chapters, chapter 22 of the drain code, to allow again some more tools for stormwater management outside of this petition type process. Unfortunately, those bills did not get out of committee. Okay. So does that mean we're going to stop? No, we're going to keep reintroducing bills and advocating for changes. Many landowners have said, now you can look at the maintenance limit a couple of ways. Some people say it's great. It makes sure that my special assessments for drains stay low, low, low. Other people say the problem is it's too low, because then that means you're limited in the amount of maintenance you can do. And then you have, you build up to these big petition projects, right? As opposed to if you had you were able to do more maintenance along the way, then you wouldn't be hit with these big projects at one time. And most people have said, I'd rather do that than to have these, big petition projects. And many drain commissioners and water resources commissioners agree with them, but this is at the moment the current format of the law. But it does not mean that we're not trying to make certain changes. And certainly this is where all of your support is very important with your colleagues in the legislature, when those bills get introduced, you know, I will tell you and I'll give you the numbers where, you know, some phone calls can be made. I've testified on bills and I will tell you, Commissioner Baydoun, one of our biggest opposition are the realtors. The realtors and the home builders oppose us quite a bit. But I've always made the point to them, if property drains, if you have real estate and it drains property, your value goes up. I'm like, why are you guys fighting us? We should be in here holding hands. So we will need you to be at the next hearing to testify for us.
Oh, yes, Jim, sir.
Very good job.
Thank you.
Ms. Elmi Castillo. If I just may add, one of the most frequent calls we get on our 888 road crews phone number is around stormwater and is around county drains. And as we go around, we see a lot of woody debris. That means the trees that has fallen into this waterway. We call them drains. I like to call them streams in your backyard or little rivers, right? And you see that. Then you begin to see that once you have that, your land begin to erode away, right? These are opportunities to clean these up, to allow water move a whole lot, and hopefully find a way to address some of these water that gets in people's backyard, possibly, into their property. This is something that a lot of people are calling us about. So it is very, very important. The other thing, no matter how many times you communicate stuff, people are still going to come out of the woodwork and say, I'd never heard about it. So I'm glad we have this opportunity and we're taking feedback from you in a way to improve how we do our business. So we're going to go back. Even though we do it one way, doesn't mean that the feedback we're getting today will not find a way to improve it. But also, if I have my way, this will not be the last drain that will clean. Folks in all the communities, in Sumter, in Canton, in Van Buren, we have a lot of drains. So we have a big plan to begin to address these gradually so that we can reduce the instances of stormwater or drain of what we call flooding when it rains and there's water everywhere in their backyard and along their homes. If we manage this well, we'll reduce the instances of that. So we seek your support and thank you for giving us the opportunity to explain this.
Thank you all for coming. We have one more commissioner who will speak on this item, Commissioner Anderson. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate you all being here. And to me, we've known each other, I think, for many years since I was in the legislature, and I've always been impressed with the presentations that you make and in making the case for what's needed. And Patrick as well, we've talked about it, and we've got to find a way, I think, to really push a lot harder, even at the state level, which is where the greatest influence that we can have, I think, is at the state level. But I wanted to ask, when we're talking about a construction project, are we talking about digging out those open drains?
Yes.
For the most part? Is there also detention areas that you do to try to slow things down in some cases, or have the water rerouted to help?
Yeah, I can address that. Certain of our drain improvement projects do create what are called two-stage channels, which is an additional embankment for stormwater to collect, during heavy rain events. We're not doing anything like that on this particular project. This project is going to be focused on sediment removal to restore the bottom of the basin to its design depth. Stream bank stabilization to shore up the areas on people's properties that have eroded severely. Obstruction removals throughout the drain. And importantly, as was mentioned before, there are 5 road crossings that are getting replaced as a part of this project, Wayne County road crossings that are getting replaced as a part of this project that are undersized and or eroded to a point where they're impeding flow of the drain itself. And a number of properties are having private crossings replaced on their property as well as a part of this project as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And yes, Commissioner, what'd you say? Oh, okay. Yes, Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you, brother Chair. Just a comment. We have commissioners who sit on the Wayne County Authority. We have commissioners who sit on the Land Bank. I guess that's yours truly here. We have commissioners sitting across the county on various boards that oversee the issues that our citizens may have. So I guess you know where I'm going with this. Why would we not have a commissioner that's available for to be sitting on the drain board? If there's I haven't seen anything that's in a statute or a law that says we're not entitled to, because this concerns our citizens. So is there something that I'm missing here?
Yes, this is statutory. The statute, I'm saying the statute dictates and spell out specifically who, as it does in many and other boards
Sure.
that exist in state government, it statutorily states who can serve there. So it's not an option.
Not necessarily, I didn't say serve, I said be privy to.
Okay.
You know, being aware of the meeting. I could sit in the audience. I don't give a
Oh,
fuck.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
people need to know what's
Yes.
going on. If these folks are coming to the commissioners, raising the whole
How
saying,
often do you all
how
meet?
do
Do you
we-
have regular meetings or is there?
I know if it's statutory, I don't want to
Yeah.
be in where I'm not supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely. As I mentioned, we can certainly make sure that you are, when the meeting notices are issued, we can make sure that those get to you and get emailed to you so
So
that
you don't
you're
do that
aware of them.
already? As far as sending out to
For like for this type of situation, we were making some
required?
communications.
Mhm.
Correct. But so this particular drainage board meetings, we can absolutely make sure that you're aware of them. That's not a problem at all. We can make sure you get the email with every meeting notice.
So I understand I would have a voice as a
Mhm.
resident, maybe not a vote because it may not be statutorily permissible. But again, that information would be very helpful to all of the commissioners. I
Course,
think
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
the underlying concern
Yeah.
we all have for our.
If you could send it to our clerk and she'll distribute to all of us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And again, just
Thank you.
because, as you mentioned, some things are set up statutorily. In some cases, commissioners do sit on drainage boards, depending on how it's organized under the statute. So
Okay.
it just varies, depending on the type of drain and the chapter of the drain code it was organized under.
Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. They'll make another fine job. Thank you.
Thank you.
More back,
Right.
you know, I'm telling you, you got me.
Okay, and at this point, any additional questions, any additional, Scott, you know, this is the first time you sat at the table, didn't have to say anything.
You know, you
Come to have, sir.
Oh, right, absolutely. But thank you, and thank you for all the great work you do and everyone who joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
No, she was great. She, Mika, you came prepared today, didn't you? Uh, Okay, yeah, she is.
He was.
Yeah, yes, she does. Yes. Yes, Madam Clerk, next item.
We're continuing on with new business item number 7, update regarding the Third Circuit Court juvenile attorney wages.
Okay,
That one.
item. Okay, but Madam Clerk, if you don't mind, we're going to suspend the item and go back to item number 5, okay?
Item number 5 was requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025 35-146.
We're still in session.
Budget adjustment 2025 35-146, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Okay, this item, as you recall, I wanted to make sure that someone was here to answer any questions associated with this item. Anyone have any questions on this item? We have Tony on the line who's able to answer any questions.
Thank you,
Number
Mr. Chair.
5.
Number 5, yeah, we went back to 5.
So, Mr. Chair, I just asked for clarification on the temporary salaries and wages. what temporary? Yeah,
Okay.
that-
Yes,
that's all I was asking.
yes, Tony?
This particular item, the $64,244, is between two grants. The Prosecutor's Auto Theft Unit grant and the STOP grant, which is Stop Violence. How this originated is the funds were expended for our prosecutors, our newest young prosecutors, to go for 3-day training by the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan. The item was not budgeted because we didn't know just what the grants would allow, and we didn't know what expenditures we were going to run into. The expenditures came out to the $64,244, and the budget adjustment is necessary in order to transfer those funds from salaries, wages, and miscellaneous operating expenses to travel. And that's it, pure and simple. I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can. And I apologize for the lateness of my arrival, but I was tied up in another meeting that went a little longer than we thought.
No, thank you for joining us. You're always on time, and definitely want to thank you for coming on to respond to this question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, any additional
would-
questions? Oh, go ahead,
I
sir.
do have a quick comment, and this is just for the benefit of all the committee members. The new website is very, very difficult to navigate to get to a meeting like this. So that may be something we want to have looked into. And I'll keep quiet about that. And if there are questions on item number 5, please, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any additional questions on item number 5? No additional questions? Madam Clerk, would you go to resume the order of the day, please?
Item number
Thank you,
7,
Mr.
update.
Chair.
Thank you.
Item number 7, update regarding the Third Circuit Court juvenile attorney wages.
Okay, may I ask who's here to speak to this item? Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Okay, is there anyone here to speak to this item? Okay, I'd like to ask staff to schedule a meeting in between the after this meeting, to schedule a Zoom meeting to meet with all the parties who can respond to this, because we want to make sure that this is at the forefront and that we're made aware of it. Also, I'll go through the chair and ask for those parties to give an update at the next full board as well. I'll request through the chair. Yep. This is a very important item. We want to make sure it stays at the top of the agenda. Yep. Okay. So there will be a meeting, a Zoom meeting between myself and staff and the appropriate parties, and then also for them to come and give a full report to the full commission at the next meeting. If the chair says the schedule, the agenda is fine. If not, we'll follow the decision of the chair. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Okay, I know of none. Next item.
Item G, public comments.
I'd like to ask for the mic to be open for all of those individuals who are joining us by Zoom or telephone or online. And I would like to ask if there's anyone who would like to address this committee to please raise your hand to be recognized.
Chair, there are no hands on Zoom.
I'd like
No
to
emails
ask
were
if,
received.
thank you. Okay, is there anyone present who would like to address the committee? Anyone present? Public comment is closed. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item H, adjournment.
A motion is ordered, moved by Commissioner Baydun, supported by Commissioner Scott. All those in favor of adjourning, all those signify